Losing your job can be incredibly stressful. While some layoffs are unavoidable due to unforeseen circumstances, but typically there are telltale signs that you can spot if you pay enough attention. By being aware of these signs, you can be better prepared or even jump ship earlier. In this video, I'm going to discuss two different types of firing. The first type is if your company is headed for mass retrenchment, meaning it's not just you who is being let go. The second type is if it's a targeted dismissal and you are the only one who gets fired. And I'm also going to share what can you do to minimize disruptions to your livelihood. Okay, let's talk about the mass retrenchment first. The essence of mass layoffs is actually cutting costs. Most companies typically will do other cost-cutting measures first before initiating mass retrenchment. The first sign is typically when non-essential spending is being aggressively cut. For example, if snacks in the pantry are being reduced or removed, or a year-end offsite party that is usually held in Bangkok or Bali but is now only held in the office training room, or there's an overseas travel ban, or it could also be in the form of sudden heightened attention on the data package spent on your company mobile phone. The second sign is if there's a hiring freeze, which means no matter how crazy the workload is, all the different departments just can't hire additional people. If this is only being done for a few months, such as towards the end of financial fiscal year and then back to normal, it could just mean that your company is trying to hit certain financial goals for the annual business review. But if this hiring freeze drags beyond 6 months, this could indicate that the firm is gearing up for layoffs. The next sign is declining revenue and profits. Usually in town halls, the company's quarterly or annual review, the management will discuss revenue and profits. Instead of dozing off, it will be smart for you to pay attention to whether the earning targets were missed or whether the sales figure declined, etc. Companies who are facing financial difficulties are a few steps away from doing retrenchment. Leaders might start using indirect language when discussing the future of the company, hinting at challenges or the need for difficult decisions. The next sign is late payments. If the company is experiencing cash flow problems, it might delay payments to suppliers or even salaries. This is a serious red flag and indicates the company might be struggling to meet its financial obligations. Sign number 5 is sudden restructuring and mergers. When companies restructure or do mergers, departments often consolidate, leading to redundancy in certain positions. This is a typical reason to conduct layoffs afterwards, as the company will eliminate duplicate roles. It may or may not impact your role, but just keep a lookout. The next sign is increased automation. Automation is a double-edged sword. While it can improve efficiency, it can also make some jobs obsolete. If your company is heavily investing in automation technologies, it's wise to consider how your role might be impacted. Sign number 7 is if more than one middle or higher level management suddenly resign or retired early in a short time span. Usually, the upper management will kind of know a potential layoff is ahead, so they will either proactively get a new job or some of them even being offered a package to retire early. Though we won't know the details of their personal arrangement with HR, it is something to watch out for if there's a sign of mass exodus at a higher level. Sign number 8 is if there's an external consultant, or it can also be HR, who are suddenly very interested to understand more about the work that you do. They might invite you to a couple of meetings to ask you a bunch of questions, or they might even shadow your activities at work. If this happens, be careful. They might be in the middle of an assessment to determine whether your role can be eliminated or merged with other roles. The next sign your company might be in trouble is if there are a lot of speculations in the media, especially for a big company. Rumors and news articles suggesting financial trouble or potential restructuring at your company can't be entirely ignored. While not always accurate, they can be a cause for concern. Now let's talk about what are the signs if your company is considering firing you specifically, but it's not a mass layoff. The most obvious sign would be if they put you under some sort of performance improvement plan or PIP. It can be named differently, but in essence, you are typically given about 6 months to prove yourself and your work result is being monitored closely. I've seen this in the past happen to my ex-colleagues, and 80% of the time, they usually get the boot not long after. But there is that minority that was able to prove themselves and still keep their job. The next sign is if you are being micromanaged. If you feel like your boss is checking your work every 5 minutes or checking your work in more detail than usual, this could be a sign of distrust and that he or she is preparing themselves to take over some of your work. This constant watchfulness, called micromanaging, can be a sign that they don't trust you to do your job well. Another sign is if some of your projects are being taken away from you and assigned to someone else, or if your boss is not willing to assign any additional work even if you volunteer to do so. If you are losing key projects or responsibilities you were good at, it could mean they're thinking of replacing you. Or it could be more subtle, such as excluding you from meetings. This could be a sign that they no longer consider you as part of the team and they don't value your input anymore, which isn't a good sign for your job security. Your boss's body language can also give away some hints. If he or she is usually friendly and chatty, but now they are acting distant, tense, avoiding eye contact, and secretive, this lack of communication could mean they are avoiding you because they are unhappy with your work performance and know they will let you go soon. So there's no point in being nice and building more rapport with you. The ultimate sign that your firing is coming is when there is a sudden meeting scheduled either by your boss or by HR with a vague title such as an organization announcement or something like that. Usually that's when you will get the whole "thank you for your service but goodbye" kind of speech. Remember, these signs aren't definitive proof that you're getting fired. However, if you notice a combination of these red flags, it's wise to take action. So the question now is, what can you do? Well, it depends. If it's a mass layoff, there's a chance that the company will offer a severance package. The amount depends on the company and your year of service, but you will only get this if you are terminated. If you decide to get another job before the layoff announcement, then you are considered voluntarily ending the employment, which means no compensation. But if you decide to hang around and wait for a potential severance package, you are risking re-entering the job hunting market at the same time with your ex-colleagues and a time gap in your employment history, making the competition more fierce. If it's a targeted firing, honestly, it'll be more difficult to dodge the bullet because, let's say, although you improve your work performance, the stigma and perception about you is already set, and it's difficult to convince the management that you have truly changed. If you are keen to line up another job before you are getting fired, immediately update your resume and LinkedIn profiles. If you are searching for a new job though, do it discreetly. Don't tell any of your colleagues, and definitely don't edit your CV in the office. If you are going for an interview, just take annual leave. Now is also a good time to brush up your skills. Maybe there's an online course that you can take or certification you can get to make yourself even more valuable. The more you can do, the better you will look to the future employers. Don't be shy and reach out to your network. Talk to old colleagues and friends in other industries and see if anyone knows of any job openings. Remember, it's not what you know, but sometimes it's about who you know. If you suspect wrongful termination, you can consult with a lawyer who specializes in labor law so you can understand your rights better. If you are part of a union, talk with them too. And if you are scared of getting fired, please, for the love of God, diversify your income stream now. Your desk job should not be the only income that you have. You must have something on the side. Your side hustle could be trading stock, renting out rooms, selling cakes on the weekend, or even being a part-time YouTuber such as myself. But the point is, in this day and age, you should never ever rely on a single source of income. You should approach work with the realization that all of us are replaceable, and hence you should never let your guard down. But remember, even if you do get laid off, it's not the end of the world. Take some time to breathe, then jump back into the job search, or maybe even start your own business while looking for a job. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.